Snack Pack. Welcome back to Travel Snacks. Or if this is your first time, welcome to Travel Snacks. I'm Allison Sharpe and hello. I put my glasses on and see who's popped in for the evening. Hey HEJ, yes, Sugar Crystal Candy Corn is making an appearance today. Hey Glenda. Hey Grant's in the house. Happy Wednesday. Hey JJ, how are you? How are you? Hey Q Margot. Hey Rebecca. How is everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm still in San Diego, and it's actually a pretty nice day. Thank you. I just threw this little braid in here real quick. My hair's a little dry. I need to do a hair mask soon. But yeah, I'm still in San Diego. It's been a pretty nice day today. Let's see, what's the weather today? Hold on, let's see. Right now it's 77, but it was reading like 91 in my van earlier, so it was a little bit warmer. But now I've parked in an area again by the water and opened my door and have my two fans going, so it's actually like a nice little breeze going on, so it's actually not that bad. So, oh gosh, this pillow's not supporting. So yeah, so it's actually a lot better today. Oh, 83, I know you love that, Grant. That's awesome. That is awesome. Awesome. So basically I'm still in San Diego, and I wanted to say that first things first, for those of you that have been tracking along, last time on the live stream I was telling everybody that my Van Simon has been very sick, lots of things wrong, but one of them, like, major things, well, the first major thing was my brakes, which needed brand new rotors and pads, so I got that done. So I'm feeling a lot better about that, so that's already fixed. But the bummer part was there was a lot of problems with like the fuel stuff and some broken pieces and things like that, so I had to get a new, it's not new, I had to get a, well, new to me, gas tank, like an actual gas tank. But because my van is older, it's like 20 years old, and they only make my gas tank model or whatever, they only made it for 2 years. So the mechanic that I'm using sent me home over the weekend with my van so I'd have it so I could sleep in here. And then he was going to do some calling around, and by the grace of God, Lord Jesus, he found a gas tank. He said it's in actually really good condition, but it was a little more than he anticipated or expected. So I was like, okay, so how much? And so the gas tank, with parts and labor, is going to be $630. So, I mean, you know, in a sense, I'm glad that he found one. Part of me was like, maybe I should have called around myself and like tried to figure out to find one, but I've just been like, just kind of, I don't want to say, I mean, I guess overwhelmed. I don't want to say stressed out, but I've been overwhelmed with the whole situation. Just trying to figure out what to do and stuff. So in that sense, I'm glad that he found one, and that part's like, he can take care of it and make sure that it's a good one and make sure that they inspect it and make sure that, you know, because if I would have just called around to some junkyards and stuff like that and found one, I wouldn't know if it's in good condition or not. And so in that sense, I'm just glad that he was able to even find one and it's in good condition. So he ordered it, and I'm going back in tomorrow to have them put in this new to me gas tank. So that's a lot of money because I already paid like almost $1,200 for the other stuff. So we're almost getting up to 2,000 now. But I saw, like, I made a video this week talking kind of about this, and I got a lot of people in the comments saying to get second opinion on all this other stuff. Um, I probably should have got a second opinion on this particular thing, getting a new gas tank, but everything happened so fast, and I just wanted to get it taken care of because the check engine light keeps coming on, that I just decided to do that with this mechanic. And I don't really feel like this mechanic's ripping me off. I mean, maybe he could, I don't know, I would never know. But I do feel pretty good about this decision of getting this portion taken care of. But all the other things that he gave me estimates for, I am going to call around to get second opinion on all those things, because this particular mechanic, they are very good, but their hourly rate is $140. So we're already starting at $140 an hour. So if anything needs a diagnostic or anything, and it takes them 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever to figure out an issue, like another issue, that just goes. I mean, an hour goes by like this. So when you're paying $140 an hour, it's like, bro, like, I know you got to get paid, but also that's a lot of dang money. So some of these other things that are really expensive beyond this gas tank thing, I'm gonna just call around, because I have a van, I live in it, and so I can kind of go anywhere, you know, to get the service done. So as long as somebody has really good reviews, and if their like diagnostic fee is less and their hourly fee is less, and they do good work, you know, then it just makes sense for me to try to be budget conscious about this whole thing, you know, especially since every time I need to leave the van for a whole day, it like takes me out from being able to, like, you know, drive around, do videos and stuff, because I gotta just go sit somewhere. So that's going on there. So I'll tell you the next part in just a second. Yes, we made it halfway through the week. Poor Simon. Yes, I know. Only 67 here. Heat wave last week. Chilly this week till humidity and heat come back this weekend. Oh, dang. Hey, Naomi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, TJ. Yes, I'm so glad they found one. Q Margo. Hey, TJ. It's a 90 in Olympia. Oh my gosh. Hey, Judith. How are you? This particular mechanic has rave reviews. Yes. Yeah, the mechanic that I'm using has lots of reviews, like 5-star reviews. So I do feel good about the mechanic. They've treated me super nice. They've, you know, shuttled me places. They've given me a AAA discount. They've tried to work with me and be like telling me every step of the way. So I don't feel like they're doing anything like ill will towards me or anything. I just think that they do good work and they charge for it. So, you know, but at the same time, some of these other things, if I can get it for less with other mechanics that have 5 stars, also, you know, could be a good thing too. HEJ, 140 an hour. I should have been a mechanic. I know, right? Hey, Adelano. 250 for a new key for my van. I couldn't believe it. Actually, that's true. Like some of these keys, especially if it's like the click open or the like electronic one, they can add up like really fast. Like getting a new key, that sucks. Hey, Marianne. Hey, Jackie. How are you? But also, real quick before we move on any further, make sure you pop a like on this live stream. And also, if you're brand new and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hey, Deb G, how are you? So the reason one of the reasons I'm doing this live stream, and I titled it, "If you need encouragement, jump on," is because all this stuff is happening, you know, and I feel like just looking back on the last year or 2 years, it just like, especially because somebody like me that makes videos, you constantly see, like, you know, you see your videos, so you see what's happened, and you look at, like, I look through some of my videos and I'm like, gosh, like, you went to the hospital, your mom went to the hospital, this person, this family issue, this, like, I just think that over the past couple years, pretty much like from when I was living in my car, things were fine. But then since the pandemic on, it's just been thing after thing after thing after thing, and like it feels like waves. Like just like I get some momentum, and then a wave just crashes over me, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. I feel like I live a pretty basic existence. I don't think I put myself in any weird situations, but it seems like just things are happening, and I know that's life. And I'm not like an excluded person to the point of like I'm the only one that has issues or problems, but I'm just speaking for like what's been going on with my life. Just it just seems like I'm constantly having to make videos about negative things, and I'm like, I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of talking about these negative things. I want to talk about good things and share like great things. Um, but the reality of life is that this is what's going on in my life. So, maybe people are getting sick of hearing all the negative stuff, but the bottom line is I can't like make up, you know, fake things. If things aren't going great, then I can't just make up things that are going great. But that leads me to something that happened today. And I wanted to share it with you guys. So all this stuff is already going on with all the repairs that I need. I woke up this morning and I wanted to go over to the Dollar Tree. So I started my van. It was kind of already hot after I was done like reading my Bible, getting ready and stuff like that. So I turned on the AC in the front, and it worked fine. So I drove over to the Dollar Tree, parked, went and got the things I needed, came back to the van, started my van up, turned on the AC, and I noticed that it was like barely blowing, like a whisper of a blow. So I turned it on high, and I turned it on max AC. And when I do that on this van, it like blows out, like to the point where my hair is going like this. So it like blows. And I turned it on high, I turned on max air, and nothing, excuse me, and nothing happened. And I'm like, no. And so I turned the van off, just thinking maybe just something didn't connect. And then I turned the van on and put the air on again, nothing. I could hear the air, the AC blowing on those little like vents that are like near your windshield, like defroster vent things. But the vents that are pointing out at me, there's like a whisper of air coming out. It's like I could barely feel it. And I'm like, okay, so now my AC is broken. And have you ever just like got to a place where too many things have happened, and so you just kind of check out, or you just kind of like go like into like a Joker mode where you just kind of like go a little like crazy a little bit in your mind, like I can't. And so I was just like, I can't deal with one more thing. I just can't. I just can't even believe it. And so I called the mechanic that's gonna do my gas tank. I called him and I was like, did you notice anything about my AC when you guys were poking around in there? And he's like, no. He's like, no, that's a totally separate system. We didn't like specifically check anything on your AC. So if anything's like broken, I mean, it would be like a new issue. And I explained what happened, and then I was like, how much to like inspect that? And he's like, it's just gonna be the $140 an hour. And I'm just like, bro, I'm already, I can't. And so at the time I just said, when you guys are doing the gas tank, after you're done, can you just look at the AC? And so he's like, yeah, but it's gonna be $140 an hour. So I was just like, okay. So I just left it at that. And then I just started calling around to some other mechanic shops that specifically specialize in like auto air conditioning radiator situations. So I did find a highly rated mechanic. It's further out. It's at least like probably 20 miles from here. But they had highly rated reviews. They specialize in that. And I called them, and their diagnostic fee is $70. And if you need a repair, that goes towards the repair. And then their hourly fee is $95 an hour. So I was like, I know that seems minimal to maybe somebody, but just even reducing the diagnostic fee and the hourly fee, that could add up depending on what's going on with my AC. So I made an appointment, but they didn't have any appointments until next Thursday. So a whole week. So that means I'm going to be driving around my van like with no AC in the front. So the silver lining is that, I'm in San Diego and it's fairly moderate temperature wise, like in the 70s and 80s, and I could drive around with the windows rolled down. And then back here in the living space, when I'm parked somewhere, I can open my door, I could use my fans, and if I need to, I could use my Zero Breeze air conditioner. So that part I'm not like as concerned about. But I'm going to circle back to the encouragement part. Because in that moment when I was like, okay, great, like now my AC's broken, I just checked out. I was like, I'm just going to decide to not even be upset about this. And it just like clicked. It reminded me that in the past, I used to be like that about all the things. Like I never would get like so stressed out. I would just be like, it's going to work out. I don't even worry about it. I used to be so much more carefree. Especially when I lived in my car, I was like, oh, well, things are happening. It's going to work out. It's just fine. Like whatever. Even in the lowest points, even when I didn't have any money coming in, even when like things would go wrong, of course I'd have like times where I'm like, oh, this sucks, or I'd, have an emotional moment. But for the most part, I would just like shrug it off my shoulder. I would just like let it roll off, and I would just be like, it's going to work out. God's going to work it out. I don't need to worry about it. There's nothing I can do by worrying about it. And somewhere along the lines of between like probably the pandemic and now, I've gotten away from that. And I wanted to share that when we go through hard times, it is really a decision. Because today when I just checked out of it, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a decision right here and now that I'm not gonna even worry about this. It's just, I can sit in here and be upset about it and be like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like I can't even believe it. Like I just can't deal with this. Oh my gosh. Like I could have just went into like this spiral. But at that moment, I was just decided that I just didn't need to. And I'd say that most of the time, all the time, we don't need to. There's no need for it. There's no need to spiral. You could feel your feelings and have a moment with that feeling. But the point past that is that it doesn't change anything. It just makes me more upset if I get upset. So I say that to say that I'm veering myself back to that type of mentality. And I want to share that with anyone that listens to my channel, because I guarantee you, I know so many people that are watching that are going through so many things, probably worse things than I'm going through. People that aren't even watching. I mean, I've heard from so many friends and family that this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Like really bad things. And when you just keep getting upset and like going down the spiral, it really doesn't change anything. And in fact, it makes your health worse, because your stressors, they're in your body, is just like the stress just goes on you. And there's lots, like if you Google stress, there's so many things that it affects in your life. I mean, so many things that it just brings you down. And I notice that whenever I start getting stressed, it goes downhill, because then I'm like, well, I'm just in a bad mood, and now I don't want to cook, and now I'm just going to eat whatever, and just whatever, and that causes me to gain weight or to like feel unhealthy. So I'm not doing that. Like I've done that in the past, so I'm not doing that. And then I'm just like in a worse mood, and then it just goes down, down, down. And that's just like not worth it, because what's the point? It just makes me like an angry person, and I don't want to be that way, and that's not who I am. So I want to encourage anybody that's going through something to, try to get a moment to feel whatever you're going through, and then decide that you're just not going to participate in that upset feeling. Hey Jimmy, hope that this mechanic isn't doing you wrong when it comes to these types of issues. I like It's like I don't have time to look for better deals. Stay positive and thank you so much. Thank you. I'll take all the prayers I can get. Hey Rhonda, glad that you have a good mechanic who you can trust. It's a true blessing. Weather is beautiful in Pittsburgh, 73. Ooh, that's nice. Hey Carrie, how are you? Glad you're here. WG, my life a rock rolling downhill from beginning of pandemic. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm telling you the same thing is like happening to so many people. It seems like it's just chipping away at everybody's, just mentality or mental health. Hey Marianne, I agree. In these trying times, we need to keep lifting each other. Yes, yes, yes. And get some friends. Like I have just a couple friends that I call, and I'm able to like vent it out. And just like it's good to get the venting out, like to just share, just like that just like grinds my gears. But then it's like take it full circle and be like, but you know what? These are the good things that are happening because of this, or these are the things I'm learning, or these are the things I'm going to be able to share with other people. At a certain point, the venting has to stop and the solutions or like the silver linings have to come out. So definitely uplifting other people is like really important. Focus on the positive. It will get better. Yes. JJ, I usually just start laughing hysterically when things just keep going on. That's where I was today, JJ. I just like looked in the rearview mirror and I was just like, really? It's just like a comedy show. Like, I just can't even. I'm like, this is like just almost comical. Hey, Alberta Schoolie Adventures. I hear you. I just found out my engine needs to be pulled and injectors and cups replaced. It's so crazy. I don't know if it's because I'm going through it right now, but I've been hearing about so many vans and cars, people like vehicle dwellers that their vehicles are in the shop. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a vehicle pandemic. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just because I'm more aware of it because it's what's going on in my life. But I've been hearing so many people saying, "Oh, my van was just in the shop," or "My car is, in the shop now." And people are spending like thousands of dollars right now. Let's see. The fee I have to pay is $189 an hour. Oh my gosh, that's so much. Hey Chuck, there are cables to divert the airflow that work when you move the levers or switches. So I wonder if it's just like needs a new cable, or if the cable like disconnected somehow. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Grant, for posting that link. Yes, if you're not already a patron on Patreon, that's a great way to support the channel. And I post more things over there, like kind of more of like, the day-to-day things. I like list out like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm staying in this area, and anything new, is going to be talked about on there first. So if you want to do that, that's awesome. Q Margo, putting the diagnostic fee towards the fix is good. Yes, that's what I think too. Oh, hey Camille, how are you? Hey Chuck, okay, Chuck, if you have Instagram, maybe send me a message. Jimmy, mid-90s in Texas with heat index 102. Dang. Hey Brenda, how are you? You didn't miss too much. Chloe says, auto repair of Oceanside is great and decently cheap. No appointments necessary for call. Okay, I'm gonna remember that because I have to go to Oceanside Friday. I think I need to check for sure, but I think I'm gonna be doing a what am I even trying to think about? I'm gonna be filming a tour of a person that lives in their Jeep. So I need to make sure that we're still on for that, and that's going to be in Oceanside. So that should be a cool video. So I will actually check them out and give them a call and see about their diagnostic fees and their hourly fees, because I am trying to find someone that's reputable, but that has like, maybe just a little bit of a lower like jump off point. Thank you, Alberta Schoolie Adventures. Hey Monique, how are you? having bad service, but I just wanted to drop and say hi. Sorry your AC doesn't work. I definitely need encouragement too. Everything is so overwhelming with van build. Oh, Monique, you're going to be fine. I'm praying for you, and I'm glad you stopped in. And you're part of our family, so I'm so glad to see you here. Mira Designs. I am the spiral queen. I'm trying to be more like that all the time. It's not easy for me to be calm and get not all worked up. It's much better not to do that. Yes. I usually don't get worked up, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just the collective feeling of the world feeling um, like the pressures of everything that has been going on the last couple of years. Because I feel empathy towards, everybody and what's going on and stuff. It's just sad. Like I look around and I see that. I mean, I have hope in the Lord, like I do trust that God has everything under control. But it doesn't stop the fact that I have feelings and I have a heart for other people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it just feels sad when you see so many people going through such things. But we do have hope, and life is roller coasters. You're going to have your ups and I don't want to say roller coaster because that makes me feel like I'm going to throw up because motion sickness, but peaks and valleys. There's times where you have to climb up that hill and it's rough, and then you get there and you see like all the beautiful views and you're at the top and you're just feeling so good, and you build a cabin up there and you're just like whatever, and then a tornado comes and knocks your cabin down and you fall down the hill, and then you're in the valley and there's a flood, and then you're like, okay, well the flood water's subsided now, so then I could just start walking up this hill again. And there's all kinds of different seasons in life, and it's just like up and then you go down, up and down, and sometimes that flash flood comes back and hits you just as you're trying to walk up that hill. And it's just the way it is. And that's why we need encouragers and we need people to say it's going to be okay. And I'm here to tell you it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it, whatever you're going through, and it's going to be great. And one thing that also helps me is when I check in with like other of my friends and I find out what's going on with them, and then I can try to be an encourager, because it helps me to stop like micromanaging all the things that are going on in my head, because it doesn't even make sense for me to do that, because number one, God's already going to take care of it. I don't need to. And number two, I don't need to, like, if there's something that I can put my efforts towards, I will, but I don't need to have a handle on everything. Things are going to work out, so I can be an encourager to other people. Carrie, glad you're getting back to letting the tough things go. You'll still deal with them, but fretting about it doesn't exactly. Butterfly tracks, hello. I just had a mouse damage of 1,500. No point in dwelling on it. Let it go. Exactly. I've had mouse damage before when I was in the desert building the van, and they had chewed up some wires, and I was just steamed about it back then, because I was just like, it felt like such a pointless thing to spend money for. But at the end of the day, it still had to be done. So just like, yeah, like you just have to just let it go. And one thing that I always try to remind myself too is money is not the end all be all. I've lived on like way less. I lived on nothing really, because there's times where I didn't have a job or money coming in. Money comes and goes, and when you have a closed fist, you can't receive. So it's like, that's why I'm trying not to concern myself too much with spending, because when I spend that money, money comes and money goes, and I believe that money will come back around. And the thing is like, I gotta stop. Like in those moments, I stop and I think, don't just think about myself. Like, these people are in business, they're actually doing a job, and they deserve to get paid for their labor, their work. They've spent time building up their business, getting a good reputation, they got to order parts, they got to do the work. And so it's a blessing for me to be able to pay somebody else to do what they're good at. And if I'm just like, oh, it just sucks to just like have to pay somebody to have to fix my van, it's like, yeah, it does suck on my part, but it's also a blessing to them, to people that are in business. And it's not all about me. It's just the way the world works. If you have things, sometimes they're going to break. So I'm just choosing to just like frozen it up, let it go. Um, it's always going to be something thankful. It could be worse. Yes, exactly. Thank, thanks for the help with your words. I'm dealing with this every day at my job. Praise the Lord. Yes, yes. Dealing with stuff at jobs, that's also like a real heavy situation, but you can get through it and take it one day at a time. Hey Tracy, how are you? It's always something going on, just roller coasters of crap, flying crap. Hey Angel Wings, your current mechanic may comp your evaluation fee if you tell him you might take it elsewhere. Hmm. I think I'm going to tell him tomorrow, like when I'm, because they're going to do the gas tank, and I had told him if he could look at the AC. But I'm going to just tell him, you know what, I have already spent a lot of money. You know, I don't make a lot of money, so I really need to conserve my money. And I'm just going to tell him there's nothing against you, but I did find somebody else that, you know, is willing to do it for less, that has great reviews, and we'll just see what they say. You know, I'm not trying to like put the work down, but I'm just going to tell him, you know what, I have to go where I can get the best fee, and maybe, you know, maybe they will, and that would be even better because then I wouldn't have to drive further away. Hey, Martin's Canada Live from Vancouver. I love Vancouver. Eat some poutine for me. Okay, maybe your mechanic class might be in your future. Think of it as a learning opportunity. I mean, honestly, you know, I mean, it's good for me to be able to learn these things. Like, I always love to learn all the stuff that's going on, and, you know, maybe I'll be a helper to somebody else in the future that's going through this. Let's see. Houses don't move unless there's an earthquake. Okay. Hey, Crystal, how are you? Just remember that things are never as bad as they seem. That's true. That's a good point. I can't believe the prices everyone is starting for their mechanic per hour. Nowhere that high here. The most on the high end is 80. Oh, dang, I wish. I wish. Exactly, says Chuck. Oh, thank you, Grant, for posting those links. If you guys do want to do any donations to the snack fund, it's never obligated or required, but Grant posted a link to like PayPal or whatever. Um, Book of the Van Man. How's it going? How are you? Thank you for all the hearts. Um, Lynn says it's the heat. Vera decides I have to always remind myself that God is the captain of the ship. Yes, 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 exactly. Idle hands are the devil's work. During the pandemic, our hands were not busy, and the devil slips in our thoughts, creating chaos in our thoughts. I mean, it's such a true statement. Yeah, that's very true. I don't know what we're talking about, but I know in my 50 years, I've been through some stuff, including a leg amputation, and it all worked out. That's what I'm saying. You know, everyone's going through things, and it's really about mentality. It's really about just, we can choose the way we're going to think about things. We can decide that. And sometimes you just get a moment of clarity, and you're just like, why am I mad? Why am I mad about things? You know, there's so many good things. So why am I mad? Like, I'm just making myself mad. So I don't need to do that. So I'm just like, if I share things on my channel, this is what I wanted to say too. If I share things on my channel, because I know I've had some comments of people saying, oh, you're always complaining. If I share things, it's because I feel comfortable sharing, and sometimes it's a vent, I will say. Sometimes I vent about things. But I always try to come to a silver lining moment, or, you know, some educational information or some encouragement. So, uh, you know, I'm not staying in a place of complaining. I'm sharing what's going on in my life. And I know some people don't like that, but I don't feel like I could do this channel without sharing the real things. That's the reason I think why a lot of people do watch this channel, is because I do share the real things. I know a lot of people on here don't travel in vehicles. They live in homes, they live in apartments, but they enjoy the content of seeing what's going on. And then there's lots of people on here that do live in vehicles. And so those people are going through similar situations, and I want to share all the things. So for the people that are like, oh, you're just complaining about things, it's really not. It's just explaining what's going on and sharing how I feel about it. I always come to a moment of gratitude and clarity about, you know, letting things go. So, um, you know, it's just like a real life. I'm just a real life person. I, you know, I still have things that affects me. Let's see. Bill says, but yeah, God doesn't pay the bills. But he kind of does, because in my mind, you know, God, like, not, in my personal opinion in my life, uh, nothing happens except through God. You know, if I ever earn $1, it's because of God. If I ever make money on this channel, it's because of God. If I ever find money on the street, it's because of God. If he lets me, get a sponsorship deal, it's because of God. If it's, if anything, if I get a deal with this mechanic, a AAA discount, it's because of God. I personally believe that nothing happens without the hand of God. And I know that not everybody believes that, and that's okay. You can believe that it comes from the universe, which I don't buy into that, but you could believe it, and if that makes you feel good, then that's what you're going to believe. You can believe it just comes from karma, fate, your own working, whatever. You could believe whatever you want to believe. I'm just telling you what I believe is that God does pay my bills. There's nothing that I do that's going to make things happen. I just put my efforts in, and then God works it out. That's all I'm just called to do, is to put in my efforts. Cars are affected by heat, not feet. Yes, that is true. And I had some severely hot days in my van in the past couple months. Grant, that's so true about cars are affected in the winter too. Major. Quirky girl, I need encouragement. Yes, yes. I hope this is encouraging, and everything's gonna work out. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but it is gonna work out. I just like drama, yet it always seems to find me. I have enough Jerry Springer worthy drama I have to deal with. I just laugh. I'm serious. Drama's like tries to tiptoe behind me, and I'm like, get away, drama. I don't need you. But life is it can be so hard. It can be so hard, and that's why we need encouragement. Tracy says, I'm good, Allison. Sick of the cold. I want summer now. Praying for peace for everyone. Yes, indeed. You can't be sharp hanging around butter knife people. Reverend Darby, that's funny. That's true. I'm dealing with complications from a broken femur surgery. A mental patient beat me up and knocked me down in the ER last year. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm praying for you. Hey, John Smith. I am doing well. Thank you so much. Hey, Joan. Seattle is so hot and we're not used to it. Knee surgery last month and I can't walk for 3 months. So thank you for your awesome videos. Oh my goodness gracious. My dad had knee surgery, so I know, that he was, had to do his, after surgery he had to do like the rehab on his knee, like stretching and moving his knee and walking around a little bit, but he couldn't do all the things. So yeah, so that's a bummer. And you know what? There is like this heat wave going through the Pacific Northwest, and it's bad. Like you're saying, people aren't used to it, because a lot of people usually go there, to get away from the heat, and so it's just been like a real bummer. Where's my chicken? Look at everything you have going for yourself. Smart, witty, and oh yeah, cute. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I like how you make some of the situations funny and are sarcastic. Yes. I mean, I think humor is like the best medicine. I know that's like a cliche saying, but it really is. Like, whenever I get to the point where I'm just like, you know what? And then I can joke around about it, it just makes it lighter and it just feels better. And, I mean, like, I also think of like, this is going to sound really bad. I don't mean it to be like trivial or anything, but I'm saying like, even if it just gets to the point where I just literally don't make any money and I have to go live at a shelter or something, I mean, I'll make some content sharing my journey, and it'll just be what it's going to be, because people have to go through that in real life, So it's like, life just goes, life is going to happen no matter what. There's nothing that I'm going to do that's going to like drastically change it. So, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously I would go get a job, like a 9-to-5 office job or whatever I have to do. I'm not going to like starve to death. I need encouragement and like the real life Allison. Oh, good. Okay, good. Kiara Wallace. I live in a car and your videos help with the lines. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to hear that. I totally miss living in my car too. If I get like in the future, if I get like a place, like a little place of my own, I want to get another car or maybe a minivan, and I want to have both my van and then like another smaller vehicle, because I miss the coziness living in my car. So I'm glad you're enjoying the videos, and yeah, I know it gets super lonely out here on the road. We wouldn't know you if you didn't share. I mean, yes, exactly. If I don't share all the ups and downs, it's just like I think of you guys as friends. I share my ups and downs with my friends. I don't just tell them all like the good stuff. I tell them all the stuff, and they tell me all their stuff, and it just, that's how you get to know people. Amen. At Graham, California. Oh no. I just try to pay attention to what God is trying to either tell me or teach me. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, John coming through with Psalm 37:23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. I love it. Your videos inspired me to do. Very grateful. Oh my gosh. That makes me feel so good, like so happy. I love hearing that. I love it when people send me DMs or messages, you know, saying that any of my videos have like helped them in any way. It just like really just like just warms my heart, or cools my heart because it's hot, but it just makes me feel happy. Yes, this heat wave needs to go. See ya. Everything that happens is purposed. Yes, I agree. True, laughter is the best medicine. Yes. Hey, Red Tornado. We as believers have to walk in the spirit and not in the flesh. We are battling in the spirit realm. We don't battle against the flesh and blood, but against spirits, against principalities. That's very true. As believers, you know, that's what we believe, is that there's a spiritual battle going on, like along the regular world battles. So that's very true. Hey, LaShawn Bailey, just stopped in to say hello, and you stay blessed. Oh, just remember, when the devil comes for you, you're doing something right. Oh, thank you so much for the encouragement. That is awesome. I love all the encouragement, and I'm hoping that my words are encouraging you guys back, because we're all in this together, you know. Like I'm so grateful for this community, the Travel Snacks Snack Pack, because, you know, like when, you know, even somebody like me that's on the road, or a lot of you that's on the road, or even people that just live in a regular house or apartment. I remember when I lived in like the best, most fanciest apartment that I ever had. It was a townhome. Beautiful, like right, you know, close to the beach, everything. It's one of the most depressing times of my life, because I don't know why. I just felt like I worked remotely. I had a job I didn't like. I felt depressed. I felt alone. I didn't have a lot of friends, and you know, it didn't matter. It didn't matter all the like physical things. I felt depressed because I didn't have like the like solid relationships, and I had lost some friends, and it was just depressing. And so it didn't matter how wonderful and great, like having the best, you know, house or townhome. It didn't matter. So you got to find that peace, no matter where you are, no matter where you live, no matter if you, you know, like live on the road or stationary. We have to all find that peace, and we have to all, you know, reach out to each other. I gotta reach out for my water because my throat is dry. I just need to fill back up my water. I look at it like this: 5 to 10 years old problems, video games, 10 to 15. Oh, 5 to 10 years old problems, video games, 10 to 15 grounded for grades, 15 to 20 social problems, and 20 to 25 bills, and so on. Problems are always going to be there. Just remember that you're not alone. Yes, exactly. That's such a good point. We have different problems at different stages in our lives, and it just goes with the territory. It's part of being alive. So it's very true. And all these things, it's just like, also, all these things, like after I have to pay all this money to get all these repairs done, once I'm at the final like thing and I spent that money, I might be like tweaked about it, and then I'm gonna move on, and I'm not gonna be like, remember that time 5 years ago when I had to spend $4,000 to fix my van? I'm not gonna probably think about it, because there'll be other things that I have to think about at that time frame in my life. The other thing is, like, I was talking to my friend today, and she was saying, like, um, let's look at another bright side moment. You haven't had to pay rent in, let's see, probably, I started living in my van at the end of, well, actually, I started living in my car at the end of at November 2019. So I haven't had to pay rent or a mortgage from November 2019 till now. And so she's like, so if you have to even spend $4,000 or $5,000, you know, that's pretty good comparatively to having to pay rent every month for the past whatever years, a couple years. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because my last townhome apartment that I had, it was $3,100 a month. So paying these repairs was like, these repairs will be like a month and a half of rent that I used to have to pay. Now, back then I had a regular job that I was getting a salary, so I had the money to spend. But oh well, it's just, I'm in a different phase of my life, and so I really am trying to see all the angles. That's just like, yeah, that's true. Like, I haven't had to put too many repairs on this van up until now, and you know, it's like paying my dues. It's like paying property tax, or like a mortgage, or any repairs on like a house. I used to own a house as well, and had to pay for all kinds of repairs. So, you know, it sucks. Nobody wants to give away their money, but at the same time, it's like, I do still feel pretty blessed to not have had to, like, it could have been even worse. You know, my whole engine could have fell out. In fact, oh my gosh, like, I just saw this video. I know the video came out like 2 months ago, but um, there's another channel called Travel Beans on YouTube, and I think it's a husband wife. It's a couple, and they had just bought a van, and it was like a camper van, all like, it was old school, and they were driving down the road and it caught on fire. Like, literally, they had to pull over and like jump out, and it like caught on fire. Like, the whole thing burned up, and they had just bought it, and they only went out camping in it one time, and they were just about to like fill it all full of all their things to like live in it. And for whatever reason, maybe it was the old wiring. I don't even know what, I don't know what the thing was. I didn't hear what caused it. It could have just been because it was old. And then I was just thinking, like, holy crap, like, that's like, listen, I'm a positive person, but if that happened to my Simon, in my van that my dad and I built together, that would just be like such an emotional, upsetting thing. And I just felt so sad for them. And like, I bet that was just like such a hard thing to go through. But then they continued to thrive, and I think they just got another van recently. I'm not sure. But anyways, you know, I've seen other YouTubers that have vans or RVs or things that also has had crashes. People broke in and like took everything. You know, I think there was another one that caught on fire. You know, terrible, like terrible things. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, first of all, I'm praying for those people and all their situations, but also, you know, like, the things that I'm going through is like, I'm still going through it, but it's not the worst thing that's ever happened. So again, I'm going to stay on the positive road and just always continue to count my blessings, because it could really go down even worse. Kiara, the same thing happened to me. I was very depressed in my apartment alone during the pandemic. I have less stuff and more joy now, though. It was one of the best choice decisions I've made. I love it. I love it. Yes. When I was living in my car, I like felt so good. My depression like was almost gone, because I was just like, felt so much more free and like not as weighed down. Yeah, that's a great to look at it. No rent. No rent is the best part of this lifestyle. I mean, so true. No rent for sure. Very true on probably paying more in rent than what you have to put into assignment, for sure. thank you guys for telling everybody to throw a like on it. They had just bought the van. Yes, Travel Beans. It was their first time driving it. Oh yeah, I saw that with them in it. Yes. It's, yeah, an English couple. Yes. I think they had just moved to the US to do van life. I had a crash on day 12 of car life. It's scary. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Fernando, I thought of being a nomad, but the hot weather keeps me from doing it. You know, Fernando, I'm not even gonna lie right here, because I'm not in the habit of lying. The heat is probably the worst thing. Um, but as I'm going through van life, I'm learning more things. Now, I know that in the past I thought I could just go north and beat the heat, but I've learned along the way that you can't just go north, you have to go to higher elevation. And I've done a lot of research recently because I'm thinking about doing a video on the top places to go where the elevation is higher, like the top cities. And Colorado's the top state for that, which I didn't even know about. But they have lots of different cities that are at higher elevations that, you know, is going to be better for keeping cool. Because some of the places that you typically think that's going to be cooler, you know, like the Pacific Northwest, last year and this year has gotten heat waves. So being a nomad, like, it is really like more of a strategic planning at times when it's like super cold or super hot. Now when it's spring and fall, you could get away with going to pretty much anywhere, not anywhere, but you know what I'm saying, mostly anywhere. But when it's winter and summer, you really have to plan. And I'm not gonna say never, because I don't like to say never because I don't know what the future holds. But I'm pretty much telling you that I think next summer I'm gonna get a apartment or a hotel or an Airbnb for a couple months during the hottest part of the summer, because I feel like I'm out. Like, I'm too old for this. I'm too, like, the heat is like the worst thing. And for somebody at my age that's going through like perimenopause and I get some hot flashes, listen, it's too much sometimes. Now I have this zero breeze AC and I have my fans and stuff, but there's just some days where I'm just like, I'm tired of it. It's just too hot. So, you know, if you're able to be a nomad during all the other parts of the year except for summer, maybe that's like the most ideal situation for people that can swing that. I know not everybody has that opportunity or choice, but I would say don't let the heat stop you from being a nomad. But, you know, during the summer, I will say that it's really, really challenging. And I like take my hat off. I don't wear a hat right now, but if I take my hat off to any vehicle dweller that's made it through a summer, because I'm like, I feel you. I know what you've gone through. I celebrate you, because it's not easy. It is not easy. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I saw the van burning. They did get a new one. Okay, yeah, good. Very hot in Atlanta. Oh, I love Atlanta. Atlanta's like probably one of my favorite places ever. But yes, it is hot and sweaty there with the humidity. Whew. One time I stayed at a hotel in Atlanta. This was years ago, and the wallpaper was sweating with, like, you know, condensation or whatever. I'm like, what have I stepped into? But then I went to Waffle House and it made everything better. You gotta get to 7,000 or 8,000 feet in altitude to get a decent enough time to be comfortable. Yes. Yeah, so the higher you get in those elevations, you do have to go pretty much higher to get, you know. I learned so much by just Googling things, because I didn't know how that worked, because I was thinking, like, okay, this doesn't make sense. If hot air rises, okay, hot air rises in any room, but, like, then why, if you go to a higher elevation, why doesn't heat rise? Why isn't it hotter? And so what I learned is because of the atmosphere, like the, what's it called? Pressure, atmosphere pressure. What's it called? Atmospheric pressure? I'm totally forgetting the word. Maybe somebody could post it up there. Pressure, atmosphere. I don't know. I just read it the other day. But basically, you know, the water, or the air is much, like, denser, lower, and as the altitude gets higher, the molecules are able to spread out and makes the air thinner, and that's why it's cooler. So, you know, even though heat rises in a certain place, like probably in an enclosed space, outside in the higher elevations it gets cooler. And it's just like so interesting to me because I never even knew that. And people are like, oh, like you would think because of the sun it would heat up because the mountains are higher to the sun. No, that sun is 93 million miles away. So that sun, it doesn't matter if the mountain is 10,000 feet higher, 20,000 feet higher, that's still not going to even be anywhere close to the sun. So it doesn't matter. That's not even a factor. So I just, like, I feel like I'm like a science person. Hey Janice, how are you? 68 in South Lake Tahoe. Ooh, that's awesome. Barometric, yes. Yes, I think so. I've been wanting to go to Lake Tahoe. Let's see. Good idea, big condo full of van dwellers. Ooh, yeah. It'd be cool to have like this big like apartment complex where like vehicle dwellers could go for like 2 months in the hottest part of the summer, and it'd be just like a little community where we each have our own apartments or like condos, and then we could just hang out and like have barbecues and stuff. But then we'd have air conditioning in each of our units, and there'd be like a giant pool with like super cold water that you could just plunge in and just feel like so refreshed, and then we could have like awesome parties. That would be awesome. I graduated at 84 in Stockbridge Tigers. I don't even know where Stockbridge is. Hey Tammy, how are you? Oh, Stockbridge, Georgia. I don't know exactly where that's at, but I really love Georgia. Georgia's like at one of the top of my list of like really places that I really love, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be going back there like for sure next year. I love it. I love Georgia. I love it. It's so green and beautiful. Oh, south of Atlanta. Okay, so it's south. Okay. That's awesome. I have a friend that lives in Kite, Georgia. They don't live there, but they have a little cabin in Kite, Georgia, which I never heard of before, but that's a lot more south than Atlanta as well. Little cute town. That's amazing. My dad lives in, oh my gosh, so many people live in Stockbridge or know of Stockbridge. Birthplace of Martin Luther King Sr. A lot of people didn't. I did not know that. I'm liking the condo idea. The dumpster will be full of bags of compostable poop. That's so true. That is funny. That is so funny. That's true. We'd all be like so conservative, and like we'd probably have compost piles, and you know, that'd be awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. All right, so we're just at the top of the hour. I didn't really prepare anything. Oh shoot, I got some messages and I didn't even notice. Hold on a second. Oh, Gilberto sent $3 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me give you a shout out. I appreciate that really a lot. Let's give you a victory. Thank you so much, Gilberto. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Very, very sweet. Gilberto is also one of our patrons on Patreon, so if you're not part of Patreon, you should be on there. We have another like small little community over going on Patreon. And also, I got another message. Hold on a second. Grant. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Grant. Grant sent $20 for Simon, for Simon's healthcare fund. Thank you so much, Grant. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. You don't have to do that. Grant's our moderator, and he does such a great job. Him and his wife Jackie have just been such an encouragement to my life, like the highest level. Like it's just been awesome. So I have a special sound for Grant, and one time I was like, you've donated too much, you've already donated a lot, so can I retire your sound and just start using it for other people? And he was like, how dare you? He's like, that's my sound. So here's your sound, Grant. Thank you so much. You guys are really a true blessing. Oh, and Tammy just sent $20 on Cash App. Tammy, thank you so much. Tammy's been like such like a huge supporter of Travel Snacks, and just me personally, just like, I don't know, it's just like just the nicest, sweetest thing. I just really appreciate it. So let's give you a hallelujah. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate you so much. Um, let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, okay. I just got a PayPal, but uh, it says, "I hope this helps. Anonymous, please." Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. That is so sweet. I'm not gonna give you a shout out by name, but I'm still gonna give you a, I'll give you a applause. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so, so much. And, oh, Crystal, you don't have to do that. Crystal's also one of our patrons on Patreon, sent $10 for the Simon Fund. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Crystal is, I think, the only one. There might have been somebody else that's recently ordered a water bottle, but Crystal is the only one with the Travel Snacks water bottle. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's give Crystal, I'm going to give Crystal a yodel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Let me just make sure, because I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you guys very much for all those donations. That's really going to be helpful, and I'm very appreciative of that. It's all going towards the Simon Fund. I'm just letting you know right now, all of it's going towards that. I haven't like really been eating out. I haven't had coffee in I don't even know how long. So I haven't bought any coffee. I haven't drank any coffee. I have only eaten out like maybe in the past month, maybe like 3 times, which that's unheard of for me. That is unheard of for me. I usually eat out like almost every day when I'm on the road, which is why I ended up having to lose weight, because I was eating too many processed foods. But I've just been cooking in the van, and just trying to save as much money as I can to put towards these repairs, so that I can replenish as I'm spending. I really need to push it back in to that. And I talked about this on a previous live stream, but if you don't already have a emergency fund, even if you put $10 a month, $20 a month, it'll all stack up. And don't use it now. Put it on for the emergencies and discipline yourself, because when you need it, you're going to be thanking yourself like, okay, I have this money, and then you won't be as stressed out. This has been like such a saving grace, because I was able to like put some money aside every little bit that I could, and now I'm gonna have to keep putting more money back into that savings, because of the outgoing is gonna be too much. Okay, awesome. Okay, I was getting a text from somebody. Okay, let's see. That's your sound, Grant. That's your sound. Stockbridge is a nice area. They have good restaurants. Ooh. Now that I'm talking about restaurants now, I want to go to a restaurant. I've been to a lot of places, never been to Georgia. Oh, you got to go to Georgia. Georgia's awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, thank you guys so much for the donations. Well, I gotta grab my pint of chocolate and lay in bed and read. That sounds so luxurious. Great night, everybody in Utah. So my favorite YouTuber looking beautiful. Thank you, Kingoma. Let's see. Oh, cute. Love the yodel. Coffee. I am drinking a cup of coffee. Drink a cup for me, Crystal. make coffee in the van. Um, the reason I'm not drinking the coffee right now, Rebecca, is because I drink it too fattening. I put too much like cream and sugar in it, and that's like a little dessert for me. So I've just cut it out because I'm staying away from dairy right now. And even when I have like oat milk and stuff, oat milk has like a lot of processed things in it and a lot of oils, and like I like to put cream and sugar, and just it's like a dessert. And so I've just given up coffee for now. Probably like at least for, I don't know. The only thing, like, I'm probably going to stay off of it for at least another month, but next Thursday when I have to take the van in for the AC, I'm going to have to sit somewhere all day. And I think the only thing that's like in walking distance is there is a Starbucks, and there was like, I forget what else, there was something else, but I don't think they had Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go sit in a Starbucks, and I'm going to need to get something to, buy something to sit there. So I might buy a coffee on that occasion, but that'll be like at least like 1 month without coffee. So I think one day out of a month will be okay, like a little treat. But that's the only reason. Otherwise, I do have stuff. I have my coffee in the van. I have sugar. I don't have any cream or anything right now, but I could make coffee in the van. And then when I start partaking back in coffee, I'm going to really, like, this is probably going to just be like one of the hardest things. I'm going to really try to like get more involved in like black coffee or like lightly sweetened coffee. I want to really try to train my taste buds to love it, because I love the flavor of coffee and I love the smell of coffee, but I like it only when I can. It's almost like at the end of it, it's almost like a ice cream drink that's melted. So I'm trying to get away from that because there's just too much sugar in it. So that's the only reason that I'm not drinking coffee right now. I have to check on my Patreon membership. I haven't gotten any notifications. I thought I joined, but I am not very familiar with Patreon, so I could be a member and not see it. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely check on that. Yeah, check on the Patreon. How do you survive without coffee? Colette says, I don't know. Like, I just decided one day, I'm just like, you know what? I've gained way too much weight. I need to do this for myself. And it was rough the first few days because I had a headache and I was so tired. But now I'm feeling okay. I do miss it, but I do feel a lot better, I will say. So it's not just the coffee. I've given up a lot of things. But I love coffee. It's like one of my simple pleasures in life. So I won't be giving it up because it's just something I personally enjoy. But for now, I just did. Jackie says, Allison, I look forward to your videos, shorts, and lives. Makes me feel like I'm traveling with you. You're a very special part of a lot of us here on the Snack Pack. Because, big hugs to you, Jackie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love it. I love sharing all that with you guys. Crystal says, I drink my coffee black or with a pat of real butter. Oh, dang. I've had the butter coffee before, too. I didn't love it. Deb G, I'm not going to go to Georgia this year, but next year I probably will be going. Probably early part of next year. JJ, how are you getting your calcium? Very important when you get to my age as a woman. So there's a lot of vegetables that has calcium in it. So I'm getting my calcium through plant-based eating. If you look up plant-based eating, even like vegan eating, you get almost everything you need from plants, beans, legumes, different things like that. You can get everything, nuts, and you can get your good fats from avocados and stuff like that. So you can get everything you need from a plant-based diet. I think a lot of times we've been taught over the years that protein is king, and so you have to like eat meat to get all these things. But if you think about it, like cows and stuff, like they just eat plants. They don't eat meat. So we're basically, if we're eating meat, we're getting plants like coming through that meat, and then we're getting the vitamins and minerals from that. So you don't really need meat. I'm not saying I'm going to give up meat for the rest of my life, but I haven't had any meat. I haven't had meat since like, I don't know, I stopped eating meat in May. And so I haven't had it except for seafood. So you can definitely get all the things you need except for like maybe B12. And then I do take a supplement for that. But yes, all those things are important. I've never been to a Starbucks. Is there something wrong with me? Jackie, I can't. I'm just as shocked as this at this statement. as when some of you were telling me you've never been on an airplane. I can't even believe it. I just can't even believe it. There's nothing wrong with you though. I wouldn't even go to Starbucks if you've never been there. Don't get into it because you might get addicted to it. I wouldn't even start. Rebecca, I train myself to drop the sugar from coffee, slowly cut it out. You can do it. Oh, okay. This is so encouraging to me. Okay, I love this because I don't think I've known anybody that's, started here and like come off of it. So personally, I've never known anybody. So that's really encouraging to me. It really encourages. So I think what I'll do is when I go back to it, I'll just decrease the amounts of things that I'm putting in it and, just like trickle it out. And then, I think it's okay to have a little bit of sugar and a little bit of something. But if I don't need it, then why, So thank you for sharing that with me. Butter and coffee, I have to try that. Yes. I add lots of Coffee Mate creamer. Yeah, Coffee Mate creamer is awesome. Like when I'm at my parents' house, my dad buys that hazelnut version of that, and it's just delicious. I don't put sugar at all, like extra sugar, because it's already has sugar in it. So when I use the Coffee Mate, I don't use any sugar. Don't forget to take in vitamin D. Something that I am learning is that as we go older, a lot of people neglect that vitamin D is necessary for the consumption of calcium. Yes, and you know what? You can get vitamin D just by going outside at the highest part of the day, the sun, when the sun is hottest or highest or something, and you can get natural vitamin D if you stay outside for 15 or 30 minutes. You can get natural vitamin D. It's what people do for years, is just use the sun. A lot of us, the reason why we have to take supplements is because we don't get outside and we don't experience the sun. So a lot of these vitamin companies are like, oh, just take supplements. We can just get vitamin D. We can get a lot of things just from nature. I hear you, Allison. I gave up coffee too. I've been drinking iced herbal tea and feel much better. But to each their own. I still love bubble tea and it's very fattening. Yes, it definitely is. I'm considering becoming a vegetarian. I've actually enjoyed it. Not eating meat. I don't miss it at all. And also, if you ever feel like you want to have something meaty, there's so many vegan things now. I'm not saying those are the best things for you because a lot of it is processed, but you can get everything you need. Everything that you need is out there nowadays. All these stores have all these different fake meats and stuff. My thing is, I say to people, do whatever you feel you want to do. I'm not demonizing meat because, if I'm somewhere and they're known for barbecue, then I'm probably going to try it. I'm probably going to give it a try and experience that. If I'm out with friends and, everyone's going to share a dish and it has meat in it, I'll do it. If I go to someone's house and they're serving meat, and they don't have any vegetarian options, I'm not going to make somebody feel bad. I'm just going to eat it, so I don't feel like I'm going to be that majorly strict, but so far I haven't had any meat and I don't really care about it. I don't really want it. So becoming a vegetarian has been really great. But the bigger thing is cutting out processed foods and all the dairies and sugars. It's been a huge difference for me already. And I've only been doing it for I don't even think it's a month. Carrie bounces. Allison, regarding the coffee, I've always had fancy creamer in my coffee. I finally switched to almond milk with a dash of cinnamon. It's been a year without sugar coffee. You can do it. Oh, that's good too. I don't love almond milk though in my coffee. I've tried that. I've tried the almond milk, but I've never tried it with a dash of cinnamon. So you know what? I might give that a try when I go back to coffee. I was doing oat milk for a while, but what I realized, and this is going to be super extra, so I don't even know if I'm just actually going to do this, but if you look at any carton of oat milk, almond milk, whatever, nut milks, or oat milk or whatever, if you look at the ingredients, there's a bunch of junk in there. A lot of it has oils and processed sugars and stuff that doesn't even need to be in there, but I know they need to put it in for preservative reasons. But I've seen how you can just literally make your own oat milk just by soaking oats. Now I live in a van and you gotta like, put the, soaked oats in a cheesecloth and wring it out and whatever. It might seem a little too involved. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I could literally just make my own oat milk and save a bunch of money, and also it'd be so fresh and so creamy and so delicious. And then you just add, like, I think they were putting in like a little bit of vanilla or a little bit of maple syrup in there to just sweeten it, just like a hint. And that could also be really good in coffee. So yeah, I might give that a try. You can also make your own almond milk too. You can grind up the almonds, soaked almonds or whatever, and wring it out and add a little teeny bit of flavor. So those are things that I might do in the future, but it seems like a little involved, so we'll see. But that's also encouraging. Thank you, Carrie. So you gotta take vitamin D in the Pacific Northwest. So overcast. Oh yeah, you guys, that's true. You guys have a lot of overcast days. I'd rather have one bite of something amazing than just fill up on a meal that is blah. That's so true. I'm like that too. I don't want to have like a bunch of junk that I don't like. I'd rather just have like something awesome. You know what, Q Mark? I am still eating potatoes, not for every meal, but I have a bag of potatoes here that I'm gonna actually have some potatoes for dinner. So what I've been trying to do is have potatoes for one meal a day now instead of all the meals, and so just to like stay in the habit of kind of keeping things a little bit more boring. But I will say, the other night, my friend knew that I was having such a hard time with all this stuff. So she invited me over and she made homemade crawfish etouffee, which I've only had once in my life, but it was so delicious. And it wasn't the most healthiest thing because she used butter. But it was awesome. But she was so sweet. She used crawfish, and then she made the rice. It was called ready rice, I think. And it's like I think it's a vegetable rice. Like, I don't know what vegetable it is, but it's made of vegetables. So even the rice was a little more healthier. So I think the worst thing about that meal was probably the butter that she used. So it wasn't the most unhealthy, but it was so good. So yeah, that was like amazing, delicious. But I am trying to eat potatoes for like one meal a day just to stay on the boring like thing and just try to continue to lose some weight. Jackie, just want to mention I did go to Tim Hortons every day for years on my way to work. Listen, if I lived up there in Canada, I would go to Tim Hortons every day, and I would probably be 500 pounds because I love Tim Hortons. It would be like I'd have to go to a rehab for Tim Hortons because I love their ice caps. I love their little Timbits. I love all the things they have there. I just love it. So, I don't know. I love Tim Hortons. It's a thing. If you're giving up all dairy, read labels. Milk is in a lot of things. If you put a little olive oil on things you usually use butter on, it's pretty good. Yeah, I know there's like lots of milk, like powdered milk and all kinds of different milks and all kinds of things. And I'm also not really eating oil at all because oil is 100% fat. So I'm staying away from oils as well. So I've just given up like pretty much everything. So except for like, beans, quinoa, vegetables. So, I haven't been like 100% strict on like some of the things that I've made in the van isn't like 100% without like sugar or oil or whatever, but for the most part I have given it up. Oh, HJ just started drinking black coffee. Okay, let me know how that goes. Jackie's best vegan burgers, Dr. Prediger's plant-based, so good from Costco. I had bought those from Trader Joe's, and those are really good. Maybe try honey. It's a natural sugar, but it has B vitamins and helps with local allergies if you get local honey because the local pollen is in it, and supposedly it helps. But I've heard that too, JJ, and I do love honey. So I will use honey to sweeten things as well. So that's a good tip. Okay, Margaret, it was made with love, so no calories were there. Exactly. There's no calories in those kinds of meals made by friends. Black coffee is going very well. I've actually built up an addiction. I can't start my morning without it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to like really try like the black coffee. I think also the key with black coffee is to get a good quality coffee and grind your own beans. Like each time you make coffee, that's what I've heard. And then when you do, like I have an AeroPress, so when you press it out, you're supposed to like time it so that you get the right timing. Because if you let it sit too long before you press it, it could get too bitter. So I think when I go back to coffee, I might become like a coffee snob, like an actual like coffee bean coffee snob, because I think it's worth it. If you're gonna have, coffee that you're not gonna put anything like sweeteners in, I think you do have to have a good cup of coffee. And the best coffee I ever had was when I went to Costa Rica, and I drank it black there. So I know I'm capable of doing it, but I was just a vacation, so I only had black coffee, for like a week. But it was so mild and so like it was a strong bold flavor, but it was not bitter, and it was just awesome. So I know I can do it. Trader Joe's, you don't know what's a Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's, oh my gosh, Trader Joe's is like kind of like a health food store. They have like all their own products, like their own like Trader Joe's brand. Start a Trader Grants. You should start a Trader Grants. You'd probably make a lot of money. If your coffee gets too acidic, add a pinch of salt. Oh, that's a good tip. I didn't know that. Trader Joe's is like, it's a smaller grocery store, and they have such great things, like lots of different healthier versions. Now, it's not the healthiest. It's like they still put like processed stuff in it, but it's a little bit more healthy, and the prices are a little bit better. So yeah, it's just like a little chain grocery store, and I love it. Okay, awesome. Trader Joe's has my favorite dark chocolate. Yum, yeah. Oh, and they have a lot of great chocolates. They have a whole huge wine section. They have so many great things. I love Trader Joe's. It's awesome. All right. So, anyways, we're not gonna play games today. I have only mustered up enough encouragement to encourage you for that, but we're not gonna play games today because I'm gonna go make some potatoes and relax, and that's gonna be it. I have to get up super early tomorrow and take my van in for 7:30 in the morning again. So after I make my potatoes, I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna go find a parking spot as close to the mechanic as possible so that I can get up at like 7:10 and be over there for 7:30. And then they're actually gonna shuttle me to my friend's house, which is really cool. So I can sit and work from her house tomorrow. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be great. 37 grams of carbs in a potato. There's 37 grams of carbs in a potato, but it's great for fiber and it's very filling. So I don't mind about that because it's very, it doesn't have a lot of calories, so you can eat a lot of it. Yeah, sugar crystal candy corn. Very happy. She's encouraging too. Trader Joe's clothes. I wish Trader Joe's had an online store. Ooh, yes, that would be awesome. Thank you, CN. Thank you, Kill Margot. Thank you, TJ. This moderator is going to have spaghetti. I love spaghetti. That sounds so good. Have a lovely night, and I hope it goes well for the summer. Thank you so much. Yes, tomorrow Simon's getting a new gas tank, so I think it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be a lot better from then on, and then I'll just continue to try to get some of these repairs done, and we'll just go from there. So thank you guys for all of your love and support and prayers, and I'm praying for you guys. Stay encouraged, stay checking in on each other, stay hydrated. Thank you, Reverend RV. Thank you, stay tuned. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you for the donations and for the love and everything. So I hope you guys have a great evening, have something great to eat, and I will talk to you later.